What is your most debatable or controversial opinion related to the Amazon or e-commerce industry?
Get off the Amazon platform. No, no. You must go, onto another platform. You need
Mm,
to have a bob each way. And it's no good at just ignoring it. And I know it's difficult. Well, it's not. You just go and you open up a Shopify site, and it's next to nothing.
mm.
Um, and you play and you dabble. We've had clients who've played and dabbled and who are really quite good at social media and had some surprising success.
Hello, I'm your host, John Cavendish, and welcome to Season 3 of the Amazon Strategist Show. The show that's all strategy with no hacks, no silver bullets, and no magic pills. Just real practical strategies for growing your Amazon business. Today, I'm joined by none other than Greg Reynolds, my friend Greg. Greg started selling online in a side hustle in 2014, so over a decade ago now, even though for me 2014 still seems very, very recent, and initially outsourced his operations. Facing issues with an offshore customer service team that resulted in negative reviews, he brought operations back in-house in 2015, and then 8 years later, he now manages a substantial US-based team across serving multiple platforms like Amazon, Walmart, Shopify, and emphasizing his ethos of locals help locals. So Greg, welcome to the show.
Thanks, John. Good to see you again. How are you?
Great, thanks. Yes, for anyone listening, Greg was actually in where I live at Christmas time, so we spent Christmas together. So
Yeah,
great to see you at Christmas.
it was a good day. Thank you.
And so much food.
Yeah,
So,
too much.
really, ZonSupport, can you give us kind of overview of ZonSupport and what you do in the marketplace?
Look, I can just tell you our secret sauce straight up, mate. It's locals dealing with locals. All my team are Americanos. I'm obviously the exception there, born in New Zealand, but left there many years ago. I still go back every year if I can. But I'm based in Asia these days, spend a lot of time in the US and everywhere else. Um, so really what we found from our venture into selling products in 14, 15 is, I've got a lot of respect for all the people in Asia, Pakistan, wherever they are, who are real Amazon experts, and they are. But when it comes to dealing with customers, our secret sauce is if you're an Americano talking to an Americano, you read in between the lines, you kind of understand what's going on, you know when to push back. You can see the city and state where people are if you're looking at their order, so you know if there's just been a big wind gone through Florida. So you just get a conversation going. And so that's really 8 years is a bit scary, isn't it?
Yeah, time passes really, really quickly, and
Yeah,
it's always strange looking back on it how quickly time has gone by.
for
So,
sure.
how have you seen it change over the last 8 years of business from what you used to receive when you started this business to what you kind of get on a regular basis now?
Well, I hope we're not recording this, are we, John? In 2014, we started getting low star reviews. We just bought more reviews, pushed them down. But at the end of the day, we got so many, and there was clearly something wrong. And then later on, after we exited selling products, Amazon changed the rules anyway.
Mm.
So have I seen a lot of change over the years? Yes, I have. Is it for the better or for the worse? It depends on which side you sit, right?
Yeah, oh, completely. And then has the number of the sort of messages that get through the system, have they changed as well? Because I remember before you could pretty much contact the seller for anything. These days, Amazon tries to automate quite a lot of these loops, don't they?
Oh, look, they do. And the one thing listeners have got to be so aware of is just be careful of the words you use, because there's bots who are, running the ruler over everything you write. So if you write the word review, if you write the word change, I mean, we've got a whole lot of words that we don't use in the business that are used in everyday life, conversations everywhere else. But it's a little bit silly to do it on Amazon, because I almost think sometimes Amazon's just sitting there poised, waiting for a fight, because they're their customers. Um, so yeah, we've seen a lot of change. The templates that Amazon put out, for example, that avoid you actually speaking to customers are a little bit challenging. But then if you're a little bit smart about it, like when you're responding to your low star reviews, through brand registry, you can click and send a silly Amazon template, which doesn't say a lot. And most people I think are aware of this. You just go into your sent messages. In your sent messages is Amazon's template, and so the communication channel's open. So you just jump in right behind that template that went out and said the seller can't say this, the seller shouldn't ask you to do this, the seller's kind of sorry or whatever it is. You just jump in straight behind that and shoot from the heart, you know. Say, look, I'm really sorry about this or that or the other, or say something. What we find is very few people will reply to that template, but if they see a message comes in, which obviously phrases exactly what their problem is, then you get some communication going. That's what it's about, right?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So you're saying the best way to contact them is if they're a brand owner through the brand analytics dashboard, through the bit where if they leave a negative review, you can kind of see the
you have to. But for heaven's sake, John, I say to people if they're DIYers, don't send the template out and then think, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? Okay, you when you hit the template, Amazon's template, and send it out, you want to be right in behind that within 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah. So work out what you're going to say. And sometimes reviews are really bad and really accurate. So sometimes we just don't respond to those reviews because they're like, fair call. There's not a lot you can say. I don't know. So it's a judgment. And so every day, our team are making like these micro judgments. Should I do this? Should I do that? I'd better leave it. Whatever way round it is, if that makes sense. And that's why I say, when it's a local, they kind of they have more of a feel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So when you work with people, do you partner like people that suit that brand, or do you find that anyone is a good fit? So, would you partner a stay-at-home mum with a mother care brand and like a CrossFit guy with a fitness brand, or does it not really matter?
No, look, it doesn't really matter, and most of our team are ladies, and because I find they have kind of more empathy and read in, a little bit more intuitive sometimes. Yes, we try to, when we're doing the supplements, we've got a team members who are really pretty good in that area. We've got some fitness people on board and everything else, but really the deep dive we do now, and with AI being such a help in terms of grabbing so much information, the niceties are nice, but don't get me wrong, we're not waxing lyrical and having big chats with people. We're trying in 1 or 2 sentences to get a connection going, and then we're focused on resolving the problem. So we have little bots in the background that'll put up to our team, a whole raft of information for them to choose from, rather than having to scroll through, information to try and find something that's relevant, sort of thing, yeah?
And now a very quick message from our sponsor, Seller Candy. Are you dealing with support issues, cases, flat files, suspensions, or even account suspensions? Then Seller Candy is there for you. We take the pain away so you never need to talk to seller support again. If that sounds interesting, head to sellercandy.com to check us out and book a call with our team today. That's it from us. Now back to the episode. Yeah, that makes sense. So is it mostly incoming messages or mostly negative reviews that you have to deal with these days?
It's half. And in the negative reviews is also obviously the negative seller feedback. And as you know, you can go in and you can respond to that negative seller feedback. You can look up the orders. And again, a lot of people I know, who are watching or listening to this know about responding to seller feedback. But don't appeal your seller feedback on Amazon until you've reached out to the customer, to try and get a bit of engagement going and solve their problem. Because Amazon then lets the customer know that they removed their seller feedback. And then, your customer's going to work it out and say, oh, so I put it in the wrong place, did I? Well, here's a low star review for you. Suck that one up. And And again, so many people are just trying to get shut of their customers so they can get on with the rest part of their business. But customer service is actually there to support your existing sales so you can go chase new ones. So if you're hived it off to somebody else in your team who's pretty good with customers, or they can just look after all that stuff, and all that team member wants to do is get rid of all that stuff so they can focus on, what they're paid for and typically what they're being measured on, you're not going to serve your existing sale. And so in a way, I say to some sellers, you deserve to be losing your sales because you're actually not even trying to acknowledge or resolve something, if you know what I mean, yeah?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then are people still requesting reviews? And I remember back in the day when we were selling, it used to be you could send them 3 emails, then you could send them 1 email, then you can use the request to review button. Like, what's the best practice now for after a sale for trying to get reviews?
Oh, look, Amazon changed this so many times, and we pivoted and changed with it, of course. Now, our view is you only send the approved Amazon template. And so you get a subscription by one of the many software programs that there is, and they are linked into Amazon. And so they'll send Amazon's automatically worded template. And we find that, over time we found that to be much better. You can only request a review once. So if you're using the automated template, then you can't go out manually. And if you're going out manually, then obviously you're not going to automate it. But this is where people go so wrong. Because if you're doing it manually, you start writing stuff in there that is just not going to work. Okay? You're just trying to maneuver. And for heaven's sake, Amazon customers, aren't stupid. They know about reviews, and frankly, they're sick of being asked about reviews. They're sick of all the sad sack stories and, please, and, I'm a, mum and pop business with 12 kids. Get a life. We were doing that back in 14, 15. Okay? So, these days, just use the Amazon template automated through a software provider, and then you just can't go wrong. Because all you're going to do is if you try to push a boundary, Amazon will swat you like a fly, and then you're suspended. And so then what have you achieved? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I know you also have some opinions on getting low-star reviews removed. Like, what's been your experience and your kind of process on that?
Well, Amazon do have a very distinct process, okay, you can go through. So number one, we've touched on it. You can reach out to the customer to try and get a communication going and just understand you're there to resolve the problem, make a replacement when it's on the tail of anything, a low-star review or anything. But you then can't ask them to update their review, update their wording. We don't use the word update either. That's another, 4-letter word, although it's 4. So basically, what you need to understand is if you've got the low star review, you try to engage with the customer, and then Amazon will have a whole list of areas that you can appeal if the review is not about the product. So if it's about the delivery and those sort of things. So we follow that process, when we go through the process, and sometimes, we're fortunate and Amazon remove the reviews, and other times they don't. They won't respond to you. All they do is acknowledge that you've appealed the review, but, they won't have any conversation with you about it. But again, if I go back to talking about when you do those follow-up emails to the Amazon template when you've got the low star review, you would be surprised at the number of people who come back and then engage with you, and then they say in the listing, and I cringe. Okay, so look, thanks very much, and I'll go and update my review, and I'm like, okay, they said it, we didn't say it, and then what do we say? We go back and say, thanks for your reply. Really pleased that we could help you. Remember, we're always here if we can help you. We never go back and say, oh yeah, thanks, and could you add this wording in or do anything like that?
Yeah, okay? If you could add these keywords, that would be awesome.
Exactly. So it's a bit around the houses, and that's why I love Shopify. And that's why I keep, telling all of my clients, for heaven's sake, I know Amazon's easy, but just get some traction going and do something to get yourself another channel. Seriously, another channel. Because there we have real conversation with the people. We shoot from the hip. We say exactly what it is. You resolve problems. You sort things out. I've got a client with a medical device at the moment, and they buy it and they use it and they find it doesn't work, and other people do. Other people swear by it. People say it doesn't, and they leave a 1-star review saying it didn't work. This is a device that helps people when they're on the end of their life. They know they've got something that is going to be terminal.
Okay. So it's not, if it doesn't work, because otherwise, if it didn't work, you would have negative reviews, because if it does work, you'd have no positive reviews though.
Yeah. So it helps extend, and it eases symptoms and just helps people. I can't say anything more than that. And so basically, these people will have it for a week and drop a perler of a low-star review. And you know they haven't used it properly, they haven't even tried. You know this. So we reach out to them to try and get a bit of an engagement going. Say, look, first off, there's absolutely no problem, okay? If you really want us to refund you, we'll refund you in full. We're not forcing you to keep the product. But please, we're on a mission in life, and this is what we're trying to do. Why don't you try again and go through these processes and go through these steps? And then what happens is people do, and they come back and they say, okay, look, yeah, thanks, I'm on track. But man, the low-star review is still sitting there, and that just nothing but annoys me, right? And we can't go back to that customer and say, okay, so now you've found it's working, you've left a low-star review. Anybody else who's reading about this will think, okay, I'm not going to buy this device that might help me because I've read all these low-star reviews. I don't know. Did I answer your question?
No, you did. Thank you. All right, now we're going to move and change tacks and move on to the controversial take section of the podcast. So, what is your most debatable or controversial opinion related to the Amazon or e-commerce industry?
Get off the Amazon platform. No. You must go, onto another platform. You need to have a bob each way. And it's no good at just ignoring it. And I know it's difficult. Well, it's not. You just go and you open up a Shopify site, and it's next to nothing. You play and you dabble. We've had clients who've played and dabbled and who are really quite good at social media and had some surprising success, because all the stats people talk about, Amazon own 50% of traffic, 60% of traffic, I don't know what it is, but they don't own 100% of traffic. And there are a lot of people who won't have a bar of Amazon, and will actively try and buy somewhere else. So, you're not serving yourself, in my view, if you just ignore the elephant in the room, and that is that you need, another platform if you're serious about the business. And back in the day, the so-called experts would say, oh no, aggregators are only going to be interested in the business if it's only on Amazon. And all this absolute, utter, complete nonsense. Because any aggregators that we spoke with, because we still do work for some aggregators, those who have survived, why have they survived? Because ZonSupport was in there looking after their customers. I don't know, self-promotion. And even the aggregators themselves said it's just nonsense. If you're on another platform where we don't like it, we're not gonna follow through with it. If you're on there and started, then and we don't like it, we'll change it. They're not buying your platform with they're buying your product.
Yeah, and I agree with that. So, okay, cool. So if anyone wants to learn more or get any more resources, do you have any resources that people can download, learn, anything that you can share?
The easiest thing for people to do is to come through a link that we've provided, so we know where you've come from, and then we'll have a conversation. And if we can help, we do. If people become a client, they do, and if they don't, they don't. You know, we're quite neutral on that. If they use the link zonsupport.com /candy, that means we know that they've come through you. So they get $100 off their installation fee for starters, with thanks to John and the team. And also what we do there is we send back our take on the best product insert you should use, you know, as of right now. And don't get me started to talk about product inserts, but you know, you should follow that link just to get our take on product inserts, because my goodness me, we deal with a lot of clients, you know, from small, medium, and you know, one's publicly listed, very large, you know, and so we manage our own customers, and we also provide outsourced services, consulting services to larger businesses with in-house teams. So we really know on Amazon. So we really know kind of our way around it, and product insert is a great thing to get right.
Love it. So cool. Yeah, thanks, Greg. So yeah, head to zonsupport.com /candy, check that out, and get your free product insert. Was it suggestion, design?
We call it a product insert guide. And then we can have on the back of that. We'll then have further conversations if you want to, sort of thing.
Yeah. Love it. Cool. Thanks, Greg. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing. I think it's super valuable, and everyone wants to know how to get more out of their Amazon business, and this is something they can do without doing anything. They just change a little bit in the way they respond. I mean, this is one of the easiest ways to get more results. So thanks for being here, and thanks to everyone who's listening. Do reach out to Greg, and see you all next week.